Hello, this is InBusinessLinks FBI Apps webinar. We do these once a quarter, and we're just waiting for a couple of people to come in. Chris is coming in. Ben's here.
All right.
Part one of the presentation is going to be the business presentation, and part two will be the guitar lesson. The Fustino Brothers, we build powerful apps for the stars, and one of the stars that we built an app for, of course, was Jethro Tull several years ago. Russell, you're the programmer. You want to give us a little information about yourself?
Sure thing. I'm a developer and do a lot of blockchain development of late. Work for Algorand as well.
Richard is our musician, songwriter, and quality control person. And he's getting involved with, he's writing a book currently, The Elephant. He was Teacher of the Month, and he also does Week of Rock up there in Tonawanda, New York, and North Tonawanda, whichever Tonawanda you're in, he's teaching. All right. And also part of the adult band, the Matt's Music adult band. Okay. And myself, I'm Gary, designer, do the business, social media, and marketing. And recently I published a book called Mora. It's an old Italian hand game, that hand and mouth game. And you can see the little caricature on the right there. They're throwing out fingers and then they're saying the word. It's very entertaining. Maybe we'll do a presentation on that.
Hi, Ben.
Yeah. And you can find all our apps in the stores. Google Play, the App Store from Apple, Amazon, and even the Windows Store. And by the way, we have a copyright for that Jethro Tull app as well. All right, and there's our store too that you can buy merchandise. The presentation today is new life, new beginnings, brand new news feeds. It's very important for us, the Fustino Brothers, because we've been using a news feed for, I'd say, the last 9 to 10 years, and they're folding up on August. Not August, April 20th in a few days. So we had to find a new news feed. So we thought this would be a good way for us to learn and to show what we've learned in the last 2 weeks. We've been scrambling to find a new news feed. So for our newsletters. Okay, so how do we go about this? Well, creating an online newsletter feed, what you got to do is you got to start with a targeted theme and a pinpointed topic. Then you got to capture that content in the feeds, which we will demonstrate, and then employ the platform delivery system, which is called an aggregator system. So we have a couple that we want to review with you. And then you send out, or you send it out, or you publish, like on the air, you go live. And then once you're live, you want to market that invitation through social media mentions and dispatch even email reminders, and then plus even provide a sign-up form and build a database of subscribers by capturing likes. So all these topics here, all these bullet points, we're going to go over one by one, starting with the brainstorm, right? You have to gather, if you want to do a newsletter, you have to gather your information that you want to put together. What topic is relevant for your business? So you have your team gather the news, the ideas, the concepts, the source material, and so forth. And, just throw everything against the wall. Now, whatever sticks, you want to funnel it down, right? Agree on a topic and then pinpoint that specific topic. So think of it as a funnel. All these topics go into that little funnel, and you come up with the theme that you want to pursue. And once you do that, you got to find the feeds or the links that are appropriate for that topic that you're picking. And down at the bottom there is an example of one feed from FreeSpot. That's what that looks like. But to people looking at your newsletter, they won't see that link. They'll see the actual story that comes in. All right. The aggregator system, that's what collects all those news feeds from around the world through all the different sources, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and so forth, and puts it all into your newsletter into a way that that's very comfortable and easy to read. We're experimenting with both these two right now, Feedly and Substack.
So are
And
those
the,
do
yeah,
those
right. And
are those
so
so it takes all of sorry, can you hear me?
Yep.
yes, yeah. So what we're
So
gonna
I have a I have a question.
correct. I
Can you hear?
believe
No, no,
I
yeah.
didn't quite understand your question.
Can you yeah, I haven't asked it yet. Um, can you hear me first of all?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So it takes all of your like is it kind of like a link tree or is it like um I guess you're just about to show it. I'm sorry.
No, that's
I
no
was
problem.
curious how this worked.
You are correct. It takes
Yeah,
the
sorry.
news feed
Looks like
that you pinpointed, the targeted area that you want to talk about, and it brings it all into one source. And that's what we've done for the last 9 years with Paper LI. But now we are experimenting with some newer technology, and one that we want to show you is Feedly. Uh, uh, we may be changing that, but for right now we've got our 3 newsletters: FBI Apps Daily, Week of Rock by FBI Apps, and Tips and Bites are into those feeds. So let me just demonstrate. This is going to be the demo, a live demo. So here we go. Okay, now we're in Feedly, and you can see what's going on up here. If you see my mouse pointer.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the feeds coming in, and we've got them categorized to the 3 related newsletters. So, for example, the FBI Apps has all these feeds: .NET, C++, anything but technology, GitHub, and so forth, even Facebook and Twitter. And that also applies to Week of Rock. We've got musicians, we've got Beatles, we've got Elvis Costello, and so forth. So anybody that's putting out information, Neil Young news, comes into our feed, right? And
So
then
these are the
mine,
sources, to be clear.
that's correct. And then Tips and Bites, I have Apple, HubSpot, and a few others. Okay, so now how do we get them? How do we get those feeds? Well, here's an example. You click on follow websites, and so forth. So here you go. You're allowed to take their suggestions, or you could do your own suggestions. So all you got to do is just type in a topic, a website, or a link. So I'll just do a topic. For example, Adobe is a big contributor of graphics that I would put in my. So I would just type in Adobe, and up comes feeds that they talk about. So here's one on Photoshop. So I would click that, and then I'd say, do you want to follow this? I'd say follow. And then what newsletter do you want to put it in? I want to put it in Tips and Bites, and that feed goes in there. All right, so that's an example of using that feed. Another example here would be you could do trends, topics, and companies. So here's Amazon, for example. You click on Amazon that they provided, and there should be something in here that's related to graphic design or AI, which would be nice. And I would say, I'm going to put that in my newsletter, and that's it. Save. Okay. So now let's go to what they call the newsletters. Their terminology is boards right here. So here's the three newsletters, right? That we would share the link right up here. So when we want to publicize it, like I mentioned, in either on our social media or email, we copy that link and put it in there, and we could also send it out here as well. But this is the newsletter. Let me go back to that. Sorry. For FBI Apps, brings in current information. Now let's see the newsletter that I just worked on, which is Tips and Bites. There you go. You got these Apple iPhone 15, the media, and so forth. And then Week of Rock also brings in pertinent information about the world of entertainment. All right. So that is our, let me see if I could, we want to be able to get that one feed in there that we talked about. Let's see, let's try another one here. Water companies, add that, and then put that in there, save it in there. And let's see if there should be a show button here. Read late. Okay, let's see if that went into the board. There it is. It goes right into the board after you save it. That's the first one we just did. There you are. Okay, so now go out of the demo and back to the deck.
All right. Can I just add something, Gary?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so what we're finding is Feedly's nice to do the gathering of information, and the display is very nice. The one thing we're finding is lacking is the ability to actually do a newsletter, an archive, an issue, that sort of thing, like we used to do with paper.li. And there is the ability to do that, but you have to have the enterprise version, which is extremely expensive, like in the thousands of dollars. So that is why we're looking at Substack. Is the other thing I stumbled across this actually this past weekend. A friend of mine does newsletters for a living, and Substack allows you to archive your editions, as well as publish them, as well as handle subscriptions, so you can actually make money if you get a really great newsletter together. You can charge for it, and as well as advertising. So you can seem to have better hooks for monetization in it as well. So at this point, we're probably going to continue investigating Substack, and probably Feedly's good to, like, you got that share link that Gary showed, where you can actually share it on Twitter, you can share it on LinkedIn, you can share it on Facebook. So that's probably what we'll do in the interim, but that's, we're just I just wanted to give everybody an update on our research that we're doing. Thanks.
Okay, that's good, and that's going to be for our 3 newsletters. So we'll share the link to Feedly right now, at least for the next probably 2 weeks, because our paper LI will be discontinuing. Okay, so back to the deck now. Once you've got all those news feeds and you got your newsletter together, you got to publish it. In the publishing world, you're on air, you're alive, right? That's what we want to do. And there's tools to use to promote it, especially to automate. And that's 2 of them here: TweetDeck and Hootsuite. That's a whole webinar in itself to learn how to use those, but those are 2 that we use. Then, of course, your to dispatch an email reminder. Many of you today or this week got MailChimp reminder. That's a very good one. A famous one, of course, is Constant Contact, and then Zendesk. We use MailChimp. It seems to be very, very proficient and very good with what we want to do. Then you go, you got to provide a sign-up form, which we have there. And as we mentioned, you got to keep building your audience. And the good way to do the audience is, once somebody likes your content, then you capture that information as well. Okay, any questions at this point for newsletters? Okay. All right, well, finally, the essential steps, as Russell mentioned, is monitoring what you do. You're doing some analytics, and of course monetizing. You could do monetizing in a couple of ways. You could just have advertisements running at the bottom of your newsletter, or you could do like an abbreviated newsletter, and then if they want to read the full stories, then they would pay a nominal fee. I think some of your major news outlets do that, like the New York Times, for example. They'll give you like 1 or 2 stories, and then if you want to see more, you got to get on a subscription.
Hey, Richard wanted to say something.
Yeah, my call ends in 10 minutes here.
Okay, so we'll to review what we've done here. We got to target a theme, capture the content, employ a platform delivery system, send out your invitation in the news, market on social media, dispatch email reminders, provide a sign-up form, and build a database, especially of likes. Now, just for your information, this topic, I asked Chat LI to give me the steps in building an online newsletter, and most of the stuff that you just seen was provided automatically to me by a platform called Hello LI. And so everything that's in red kind of provided the steps that we just looked at. The only caution is you could ask an automated system like Chat LI, but you got to be careful what it comes back. Right now, it brings back good stuff and bad stuff, so you got to make sure that it's accurate. All right, I guess we're ready for the part 2, which is the spring rock.
All right, go
All
ahead,
right.
share your screen, Gary, with Rich on it, and you got the music there too in the deck.
Okay.
All
So I'm
right.
gonna end
I got
that.
about 1 minute, but we'll see how this works. We're gonna talk about Spring Rock. It's one of the songs I'm teaching this week, and it's based on 4 chords: A minor, E,
Full screen, Gary.
F, and G. Let me print that down so you can see my CAD. And the bridge is 3 chords: C chord, C major 7th, and E7. And it's based on the pentatonic scale, which we could overlay on the top of it. But we're going to do it like Santana. We're going to add a B to it. 9th fret on the 4th string. The B here. So that can be improvised on the top. So what I'm going to do is play both parts at once here. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it or not. But Spring Rock, it should be in your chat window there. This is the basic track with bass guitar and second guitar. I've got it orchestrated for a school. And I have cello, flute, saxophone, and drums. You're going to hear
I'm trying to get back to full screen. Hold on.
First part.
Hold on a second, Rich.
All right. You got the
I'm
screen?
trying to. All right. There we go.
No.
All right. Full screen. Now, can you see my fingers?
All right.
There we go.
All right.
Okay, Rich.
See if I can do this.
And
So I got
that's-
about 5 minutes. I'm going to try to overlay some nice harmonies with the guitar. That's pretty good with the improvisation.
Yeah.
I don't think the short stop. Now this is the same one with a little more intro. Real fast. So this is what I'm going to be doing. Saxophone. Here's the bridge.
All right.
And it ends on an E chord. So the best way to work on that, and stop that. Best way to work on it is work on it very slowly, using the rhythm 4 beats per measure, like 4 A's, 4 E's. Single notes work real good. And for the ease of the background, you would probably want to do 2 chords per measure, like 2 A minors, 2 D chords, 2 F chords, 2 G chords. Every time comes out pretty good on Google. Only trouble is they limit you to I think a half-hour call, and I have 2 minutes left. So everything works good. I broke it into 3 different parts, and for my students, we'll probably be doing it all this week. And I think it's going to become a song that we're going to do in the Week of Rock in 2023 in August.
Yeah.
So it'll be a jam piece.
All
and
right.
there's no words, so I don't have to sing. Thank you very much, Gary.
Okay.
Great. Yeah, one note
Take it
to
away.
our
All right. Here we go back to
Nicely
the
done.
deck here.
one note to our audience. We've been experimenting with Google Meet, and I think we're going to do our meeting next month on just Google Meet because
That'd be great.
it works better with music. With Zoom, it cuts out as soon as somebody speaks, and then
Right.
you never hear the music when Rich is playing and singing at the same time. So
We're
that
gonna
looks
give
like
it
it
a
was a
shot.
success. Today we just shared
Yeah.
it into Zoom, but next month we'll do it live directly from Google Meet.
I think is the own singing and explaining of the chords, unfortunately, was preventing the music from going through as well.
Yeah.
So it was like
Yeah,
lapping itself, unfortunately. So it's a good example of Google Meet will eliminate that, I think.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah. And Google Meet's a
Thank
lot
you.
more, I think it's like it's leaped Zoom, I believe, in like interfacing.
well, it sure has
Yes.
for musicians. I mean, musicians can't really use Zoom.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, we did some research on that too.
Looking forward to it.
All right. Well,
Take it away.
these are some of the recordings that Richard has made, of course, and they're on all the popular music stores. And the latest one, of course, was Buffalo Pain from the tragedy that they had in Buffalo. And coming up is Silver Creek Blues, and the books that we have. It also has Zamarin Forms, Mora, and Elephant, the Ellery the Elephant coming near you. And our current newsletter addresses that will change this month, and our standard links. And here's all the credits for today's presentation. And of course, this deck will be up on our what do you call it, InBusiness SEO website. And our next free webinar will be January 10th.
July
And
10th.
we'll try to work out the bugs for the audio by then.
Yeah.
All right. January 10th. Well, it's good seeing you all. Thank you for joining in and having patience for our presentation.
Thanks a lot. Good job, Gary.
Thank you guys. Nicely done.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye now.